Music for the Jilted Generation is the second studio album by English electronic dance music band The Prodigy. The album was released through XL Recordings in July 1994. The album was re-released in 2008 as more music for the Jilted Generation, including remastered and bonus tracks. Similarly to their previous record experience, Maxim Reality is the only group member, besides Liam Howlett, from the then line-up to contribute to the album. Album information: the album is largely a response to the corruption of the rave scene in Britain by its mainstream status as well as Great Britain's Criminal Justice and Public Order Act 1994, which criminalised raves and parts of rave culture. This is exemplified in the song Their Law with the spoken word intro and the predominant lyric, the fuck 'em and their law sample. Many years later, after the controversy died down, Liam Howlett derided the title of the album, which he referred to as stupid, and maintained that the album was never meant to be political in the first place. Many of the samples featured on the album are sound clips from, or inspired by, movies. Intro features a sample that sounds like it's from the film The Lawn Man, however it is an American voice on intro instead of Pierce Brosnan's English accent and the words are subtly different. Their Law samples Smokey and the Bandit. Full Throttle features a reverse sample from the original Star Wars movie, and The Heat features a sample from Poltergeist 3. In Claustrophobic Sting, a voice whispers "My mind is glowing," similar to HAL 9000 saying "My mind is going" in the film 2001, A Space Odyssey. When Liam Howlett came to the cutting room for the final phase in the album production, he realized that all the tracks he had originally planned for wouldn't fit onto a CD, so One Love had to be edited, which resulted in a cut of approximately 1 minute and 41 seconds, The Heat was slightly cut, and the track called We Eat Rhythm was left out. We Eat Rhythm was later released on a free cassette with Select magazine in October 1994 entitled Select Future Tracks. Liam Howlett later asserted that he felt the edit of One Love and Full Throttle could have been dropped from the track listing. The Narcotic Suite includes live flute parts, played by Phil Bent. Originally, Howlett asked Ian Anderson of Jethro Tull to play this part or to give permission to use samples of one of his flute parts. According to Anderson, the letter from Howlett got stuck in his office and when Ian found it, the album was already released. The cover of the inner artwork of the record was analyzed in an article published in 2008 in the Techno Underground magazine Dataside. The author compares the picture with a persiflage which was published in 2003 on the Kid 606 album Kill Sound Before Sound Kills You. The article not only describes the representation of raves in graphic artwork but also describes the marketing strategy of the band with the album and criticizes it. With the picture, the Prodigy are taking a stance in the conflict of ravers versus the police in those days. At the same time, this statement is used to market a rebellious attitude. The picture is part of the artwork of a record which is of course a commodity. The teenage consumer ought to identify himself with the presented rebellion. With the help of the artwork a certain image of the Prodigy is established. They should be seen as anti-stars, who define themselves through refusal and opposition. Reception: Music for the Jilted Generation has received critical acclaim. Rolling Stone gave it 3.5 stars, calling it truly trippy, and that it generates universal dance fever. Alternative Press said it throws much darker shapes than its predecessor, and slams harder and rawer and covers more ground. Robert Christgau called it one of the rare records that's damn near everything you want cheap music to be. Mojo ranked it number 83 in their 100 Modern Classics list. Spin ranked it number 60 in their 90 Greatest Albums of the 90s list. NME ranked it number 9 in their Top 50 Albums of 1994 list. Q readers voted it the 62nd greatest album of all time in early 1998 and ranked it as one of the best British albums of the last 50 years in 2008. On December 4, 2008, radio presenter Zane Lowe inducted it into his masterpieces by playing the album in full on his BBC Radio 1 show. It is included in the book 1001 Albums You Must Hear Before You Die. Track listing: all songs written and composed by Liam Howlett, unless indicated otherwise. Chart positions. Certifications. Personnel: Liam Howlett performing, synthesizers, keyboards, Sampling, Drum Machines, Production at Earthbound Studios, Co-production at The Strong Room, Mixing, Engineering, Maxim Reality a co-writer and vocalist on Poison, Neil McClellan a co-production and mixing at The Strong Room, Pop Will Eat Itself a performer on Their Law, Phil Bend a live flute, Lance Riddler a live guitar on Voodoo People, Mike Champion a management. Artwork Leigh Edwards a inside sleeve painting, Stuart Highgarth a front cover, Jamie Ferry a rear sleeve. References